Hey guys, this is Fernando
And I'm Matt.
from RNH, and today Matt's here, and he's going to walk us through the feature set of the console.
All right. So we've been getting a lot of questions about the console that we're making. People want to know what the configuration is, what all's going on in it. So I figured we'd talk through that real quick. This is a custom desk that we're making for a client who basically bothered us into making it for about 6 months. He pestered us until finally I threw out what I thought was an absurdly high dollar figure and told him it would be over a year. And he said, yeah, no problem. So I was like, crap, now we got to do it. We started with a blank sheet of paper, and he walked through his recording process and that he uses only tape. He doesn't have a DAW, kind of how many tracks he wanted and everything, and came up with a block diagram. And when we finished the block diagram, this is what came out. So what we have is a 16 input console split into 2 banks of 8. So we have the left-hand bank of 8 over here and the right-hand bank of 8 over here with the center section that's got all of our busing and monitoring features. Part of the spec, we have full 100 meter faders, and the bus faders are in pairs, so they can be used either as mono or as stereo. All right, so each channel is basically our QPP for mic pre, with the same kind of mic line switching as we use in the 622. So it uses the op amp as a balanced input when it's in line mode. And then we have a V2 equalizer section, so basically 1/2 of a V2 for the EQ. We also added a variable high pass filter, so that's right up here as part of the mic pre section. And then of course it's got phantom power, pad, and polarity as well. And so for those of you that aren't familiar with the V2, it's a bridge T equalizer that has 3 bands, and each band is fully stepped using Greyhill switches, and each band has 6 frequencies. The high and low band can be switched from peak to shelf, and then there's also a bandpass filter which carves off everything below 60 hertz and everything above 16K, so it kind of gives you that nice broadcast bandwidth range. So in addition to the mic pre and the EQ, each channel can be routed to 4 auxes. So we have aux A, B, C, and D here. Aux A and B are switchable pre or post fader. So that's what that pre button is for. When you switch it, it goes to pre fader to be used for a cue or something else. And then up at the top, we have 5 stereo pairs that are all post pan. The 4 pairs are buses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. Odds are left, evens are right on the pan. And then a dedicated 2-track out for the left-right. Each also has solo, mute, and then a switchable insert that's balanced, and then a peak indicator. One thing we added, which is not going to be part of this build, but we can add later, is each channel has provision for a meter bridge. So there's a meter driving circuit there. We can calibrate. That's what this extra hole is here, is for calibration. So once you're in the card, you can route to your auxes or your buses, and that lands on these 4 bus aux modules. At the top, we have the aux master for A, B, C, and D. Those can be soloed out or muted, and then they go out, balanced transformer out to the world. And then there's a aux return with its own level. So you have a master level for the aux out, then you have a balanced return for the aux returns, and that can also be solo or muted, and that can be routed to the buses. So the aux returns basically act as you have 4 additional line level inputs that can go into your buses. Then the bus section is the lower half of the card. The buses can also be routed to the auxes, which make for a great opportunity for a feedback loop, so we got to be careful about that. And then each bus has its own metering, so we put these awesome little edgewise meters here. So you basically he'll be using that for his eight tape sends. Because the bus aux cards are stereo, you can see that each of our bus aux sends are concentric pots. So those are going to look really awesome when they're all done. It's basically inside and outside correspond to left and right, or 1 and 2, odds and evens. And then each bus can also be solo, muted, and we've got a switchable insert. And last but not least, all 8 of the buses can be routed back to the left-right module, so you can use them as subgroups on mixed sound. In the center section, this is a simple but full-featured console. So we have, you can control the level of the solo that you hear. It is a mono solo, nice and simple, both left and right. You just basically get a center section image of whatever you're soloing. We have 3 speaker selects that you can select independently or all at the same time. So in this case, I think what he's going to use them for is for mains, subwoofer, and then alternate speakers. And then those are fed by a track select. So you can select from listening to your aux 1, 2, listening to aux 3, 4, an alternate input, stereo input, listening to your 2-track returns, and then your left-right mix down. As part of the control room path, you can collapse the signal from stereo to mono, and you can also do a phase reverse where you reverse one side, invert the polarity of one side and collapse it. Obviously, you need a control room level that controls the volume going out to your speaker selects. Then we have a left-right swap, so that actually just flips the left channel and the right channel. A dim, I think it's a 15 dB dim, and then just a mute, control room cut. This area is for your talkback control, so we have gain and level out, and then you can route it to all slate, which also hits the buses, or just the auxes. And last but not least, we have an insert and a mute that only functions for the left-right stereo bus. That's the console.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot for following us. A lot of excitement on Instagram. So ask questions. We love interacting with y'all. So thanks, guys. Bye.